of the update.
Is this an awesome jet or what?
Our men and women who sit in that seat will never have to engage in a fair fight.
The significance of the early 325th history is that while continuing to execute its diverse mission during World War II and later years, the Checkered Tail Clan was always in the forefront of successfully integrating new weapon systems. On September 26, several years of bed-down and integration plans came to fruition for the Checkered Tail Clan, and history repeated itself once again. Today we celebrate the arrival of the A-22, a transformational aircraft, while remembering our proud heritage and honoring everyone who has worked diligently to make this day a reality.
As our nation and Air Force celebrates 100 years of power flight, it's only fitting that this aircraft, the first operational F-A-22, be delivered to Air Education and Training Command, the Air Force's first command. Since 1996, our community and the base have been preparing for this day, and it is an achievement to be celebrated. With the arrival of the F-A-22, Tyndall, until now known as the home of air superiority, becomes the home of air dominance. The F-A-22 is now in the hands of our warriors. Warriors that will provide the Combat Air Force with a highly trained air dominant team. What an awesome responsibility. And to echo Lieutenant Colonel Haragian's remarks as he landed his F-A-22 for the first time, is this an awesome jet or what?
While today's ceremony is a celebration of 100 years of powered flight and the delivery of, yes, General New, the awesome jet, it also celebrates the completion of a plan that began with the announcement in August 2000 that our base, Tyndall Air Force Base, would host this very event. For some in the community, today is a sign of a bright future. For others, it means more jobs and increased economic impact. Indeed, I believe it's both. The 325th Fighter Wing has an essential mission, and Team Tyndall does it better than anyone else can. So you bet, the future is bright. For those who see today's event for its economic impact, how much better does it get?
It's a great day for America, and it's a great day for the Air Force. And every one of us here knows with absolute certainty that no nation on this earth can match the power of the U.S. Air Force. And this 22 extends that power well into the future, and it extends our power well beyond the hopes of any potential enemy. This airplane guarantees American control of the skies, not only above our friends, but it guarantees American reach into the dark corners of the world where our enemies may try to hide. This airplane is a powerful combat system and an equally powerful symbol of American resolve to deny our enemies even the slightest hope of military success anywhere on the battlefield.
You know, if Lieutenant Frank Tyndall were here today, I'm sure he would be proud of his namesake. He might not recognize much of the equipment that we use, but he certainly would recognize the dedication to duty and devotion to country that our men and women in uniform have today. The official arrival of the A-22 today will help ensure that Tyndall Air Force Base continues to prepare our pilots to fly the world's premier air superiority fighter. And as General Ryan, the former Chief of Staff of the Air Force, said, guarantee that our men and women who sit in that seat will never have to engage in a fair fight.
In these times of uncertainty, with the war on terror, escalating tensions in the Middle East, it is imperative that the United States fighter force not rest on past successes, but continue to guarantee the security of our nation, the attainment of freedom, and of magnificent democracy. Today, we introduce the next phase of the FA-22 and mark the beginning of this new era in fighter aviation. Air dominance has been instrumental in every military combat victory, from World War II, the invasion of Normandy, to more recent operations in Afghanistan and Iraq. Simply put, air dominance minimizes casualties, our casualties and their casualties. With its first look, first shoot, first kill capability, the FA-22 is a national asset that will guarantee soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and our allies and coalition partners freedom from air attack, freedom to attack, and a safe return home. Our nation is blessed to have the intellectual, industrial, and financial resources and know-how to make this day possible. But the number one arrow in our nation's quiver remains our people. Yet, we will not know the value or the capability of this airplane until we put it in the hands of the captains and the hands of our magnificent NCOs who will fix it, who will launch it, and who will keep it flying.
As Tyndall Air Force Base begins receiving its Raptors, work is underway on the components that make up Ship 41, which will be based at Langley Air Force Base. At Lockheed Martin's Fort Worth assembly plant, Assemblers are using new methods to build the mid-fuselage better and faster.
Well, the mid-fuselage is built in 3 components, and those 3 components have to be brought together and made to make a structural component. The original tooling concept had major tooling surrounding each of those 3 modules, and that major tooling was brought out of the lower level module and brought up to the mate point, actually physically put on some big tooling and hand cranked together. The new concept eliminates that major tooling and leaves that back into module level. You're able to freely bring out those modules, float those in space, and set those onto some tooling positionings that are then use optics to align them, and then electromechanical devices to actually crank them together, and allows us to make fine adjustments, bring that together, and virtually eliminates all the hard tooling then that was around it that kept it in a physical position. It reduces the tooling costs by in excess of $4.5 million. It eliminates a significant amount of recurring tooling maintenance, which is an ongoing cost from airplane to airplane. It reduces the span time to build the mid-fuselage, and the mid-fuselage is on the critical path of the FA-22, so it essentially reduces the span time for the whole FA-22.
Improvements are also being made at the Pratt & Whitney plant in Middletown, Connecticut, where the Raptor's engines are built. The production line is expanding, and the assembly process is being optimized. The production rate in 2003 was 3 engines per month. By 2008, that rate is expected to double. Both the F-119 engine and the F-100 engine, which powers the F-16, were built on the same line, but increased production volume of the Raptor's engines require them to be built on a separate assembly line. 100 Raptor engines have been built so far, and a total of 650 are planned. With the start of operational test and evaluation in October, and the announcement of the first Langley Air Force Base Raptor Squadron, the milestones are coming fast. The 27th Fighter Squadron, the oldest fighter squadron in the U.S. Air Force, will receive its first Raptor in 2004. There will be many more milestones between now and then, and we'll be here to bring them to you.